Hi guys, I want to talk about why spreading out your training across the week is not the best way to make progress. And in fact, although it sounds counterintuitive, stacking your days, doing your strength and your jiu-jitsu on the same days can actually yield some better results. Now, I'm going to try and demonstrate this by drawing it. Now, apologies, I do not have the best handwriting or drawing ability. So let's go. We've got two scenarios, okay? I'm going to talk you through both of them. We've got scenario number one. Let's, for the sake of today's argument, I'm going to draw a battery here. That's a battery. So, for the sake of today's argument, let's say that you are training 6 days a week, okay? You are wanting to get in 5 jiu-jitsu sessions and you want to get in 3 strength training sessions. So, we've got here, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. On Sunday, I'm just going to assume this is a rest day, okay, just for the sake of argument here. Now, imagine these are batteries, okay, in case you forget, battery. Now, where we run into a risk of getting injuries and stuff is when we get tired. So if our battery runs low or gets down into this sort of danger zone down here, this is where mistakes can happen and where you can end up injured or an overuse injury or just getting ill, really. We just don't want to be in that zone too often. So what can happen if you are, let's say you want to do strength and then you want to do jiu-jitsu and then you want to do strength and jiu-jitsu, then you want to do jiu-jitsu, then you want to do strength and jiu-jitsu again, and then maybe you've got an open mat or something you want to go to on the Saturday. Now, these are batteries, and they're going to represent our battery level, obviously. So let's say that we start the week at 100%. That's great, right? We've trained some strength training, so it's drained our battery. We're able to sort of recover overnight to, let's say, about 80%. Then we go to jiu-jitsu. Great. Overnight, we recover. Maybe we recover to 70% overnight. So now we've got 70% battery and we've got strength and jiu-jitsu to go to. So that's going to drain the battery quite a lot. So now we're going to come back overnight. We've done that. It probably drained our battery down to sort of 10, 20% realistically, depending on how hard your training sessions were. Now we've come back overnight and we have recovered to 40%. It was a big day, so we haven't recovered all the way. And now we've got jiu-jitsu. We go to jiu-jitsu, no problem. But because the battery was so low, you're really pushing it at jiu-jitsu. And so overnight, we're actually only able to recover to 30%. Now we're getting dangerously close to that sort of empty battery level here. So we've got strength and jiu-jitsu to get over that day. So on Saturday, we are absolutely fried. That should be red, right? You've done strength and jiu-jitsu, but it's on an empty battery. On Saturday, you also want to train jiu-jitsu again, but you've got an empty battery. This is where the danger comes in, right? That we are training with such a low level of energy left in our bodies that's when silly little mistakes might happen, or you even just like wearing yourself down so much over such a long period of time that you can end up sick. Now, this might be fine for some amount of time, but at some point it will catch up with you. We want to make sure we are recovering. And there's a few reasons for that, right? Let's say we've done this week, we do our jiu-jitsu open mat. We have like, all the big people have turned up. Everyone's given you a hard time. So you're able to recover on Sunday, of course, but maybe you don't quite make it to that 100% mark because this was so big. So then next week, when we start again, you might only be starting on 90% instead of 100. So already you're starting with not a full battery. And again, we push and push, right? Now, let's look at scenario 2, where we actually stack a few more days. So you'll see up here, we did actually stack 2 days. We stacked Wednesday and Friday. If we were also to stack this day here, so that on Monday we've got a double day as well, but that gives us another rest day. So let's see how that might look. Here's my battery again, and we'll just duplicate that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so now we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, for argument's sake, we're going to say that Sunday is a rest day. Now, this week, we've actually stacked strength and jiu-jitsu on the Monday. We've got a rest day Tuesday. We've got strength and jiu-jitsu again on the Wednesday. Then we've got, what am I doing here? Thursday, we've got jiu-jitsu. So we're still getting the same amount of sessions in. Friday, strength and jiu-jitsu again. Saturday, just jiu-jitsu, and then rest. So now we've got 2 full rest days spread out throughout the week. So 1 second. Okay. So we've got 2 full rest days, right? So how might that look with our battery? Remember, we don't want to get into this low zone here and be training through that really empty battery, because that's the danger zone. So let's say we start at 100 again, but now this is probably depleted the battery more than it would have in this session here. And so maybe by the end of the day, you're only left with about 40%. But we have a full day here where we can recover and replenish all the way up. So on Wednesday, you're starting again at 100. Right? Yes, we've got a double day here again. So maybe we got down to 40 and we're able to recover overnight to about 70, but we've only got 1 jiu-jitsu session on that day, no strength training as well. So overnight, maybe we're able to recover back to 70%, maybe even 80%, depending on how difficult the training was at jiu-jitsu. We've got another big day, but that's okay. So let's say we go down to 40 again. Maybe by this day here, we're only sitting at about 60. You're pretty exhausted, but we've got a full day here. We've only got jiu-jitsu, so not strength as well today, just a jiu-jitsu session. It's a Saturday, maybe it's an open mat and something a bit lighter. And then on the Sunday, you're able to recover fully again and go back into your week with 100%. So you can see how this might, so if we've got here, like we're spreading them out, so we've got strength training, jiu-jitsu, strength and jiu-jitsu, we've got something on every day except maybe Sunday. That really gives us it's really hard for us to fully recover in order to come back the next week. And like I said, it might be okay for a short period of time, but over time it will catch up with you. Whereas if we stack it like we've done here and stack those strength days with your jiu-jitsu days, we end up with 2 full rest days a week, which gives us this chance to fully recover the battery throughout that week. And so because we're able to recover more, the other thing you're able to do is actually push more when you are in the gym. You'll have better performance when you are at jiu-jitsu as well. Now, 5 jiu-jitsu sessions a week is still a lot. I have done this because I know jiu-jitsu people love to train. So ideally, there would probably be maybe 1 less jiu-jitsu session there, and that opens up the opportunity for even a 3rd rest day. And you can take advantage of those. We can do some cardio or something on those days, and build up that capacity for the mats. But it does allow us to recover fully. When you're recovered, you can push harder. You're less tired, you sleep better. It's all good things, right? When you're on the mats, if you're recovered better, you can think more clearly. You can implement techniques better. You can train at a higher intensity if you want to. So more is not always better. It's about finding the schedule that works best for you. Ideally, outside of competition prep, you might want to be doing 3 strength sessions and 3 jiu-jitsu sessions a week. Personally, I think that's an excellent amount. It gives you a chance to learn and progress. Skill development and skill acquisition is a different process to something like strength training. So keeping that in mind, giving your brain and body a chance to recover so that you are able to implement the things that you've learned will definitely set you up for success. So I hope this has been helpful. Sorry about my batteries. They're not great, but I hope it made sense, and you can utilize that across your own schedule. If you are a Ready to Roll member, reach out to me. I can help you and maybe be a bit more clear with my messaging for you and your particular circumstances. Now, obviously, everyone has jobs, everyone has families, everyone has other commitments that they need to get to. So this is a perfect world scenario. I can't obviously guess everyone's scenarios. So reach out if you're on the app, and I am happy to help you figure out what works best for you.